Hey there. Have you ever pushed through a challenge unsure if you're bravely persevering or just stubbornly stuck? Life often feels like a tug of war between giving up and keeping on with no clear map to guide us. In this video, we'll explore Stoicism's take on perseverance, a practical, grounded philosophy that helps us discern when to hold fast and when to let go. Let's dive into the art of staying strong with wisdom and find out how to navigate life's storms without losing ourselves. Perseverance, or stubbornness, how Stoicism views the power of not giving up. There is a certain quality that is praised across all cultures, from modern self-help books to ancient philosophy, perseverance. People write about it, speak about it, carve it into walls, and even tattoo it onto their skin like a survival mantra. Never give up. Keep going, stay strong. These slogans sound both inspiring and a little exhausting, especially on the days when you are persevering so hard, you no longer know whether you are on the right path or just spinning in a maze of your own making. We have all been taught that success is the reward for those who do not quit, but in reality, not every act of not giving up deserves a medal. Sometimes the deepest wound does not come from failure itself, but from relentlessly clinging to something that no longer fits just because we have already come too far. And so the question arises, how do we tell perseverance apart from stubbornness is going all the way always a virtue, or does true courage sometimes lie in knowing when to stop? Stoicism, a school of philosophy born over 2,000 years ago, never naively claimed that perseverance is always a virtue, but it also does not advocate giving up the moment things get hard. The Stoics teach that what truly matters is not whether you keep going or not, but why you are continuing, how you are doing it, and from what place of inner freedom you are acting. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "Be like the rock against which the waves crash, remaining unmoved, while the seething foam falls all around it." But if you find yourself standing in a desert with no water, no waves, only scorching wind and shimmering illusions, maybe it is time to check your map. This essay is a journey to help you re-examine that map, to explore what perseverance truly means under the light of reason and virtue, to distinguish between a courageous heart and a hard-headed mind, and ultimately to learn how to practice perseverance with wisdom in everyday life. Because if perseverance is strength, then knowing what is worth persevering for, that is real wisdom. What is perseverance from the Stoic perspective? In the eyes of the Stoics, perseverance is not about stubbornly charging ahead while reason is screaming at you to stop. It is not something you do just because you are too lazy to reevaluate. Perseverance in Stoic philosophy is a conscious loyalty to reason and virtue. It is the vivid expression of a mind that is neither manipulated by circumstances nor swept away by emotions like a gust of March wind. First, perseverance means living according to reason in spite of adversity. The Stoics understood one very important thing. We do not control what happens to us, but we can completely control how we respond. Epictetus once taught, "It is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about them." A Stoic perseveres not because they enjoy suffering. They simply understand that if what they are doing aligns with reason and virtue, then they have a responsibility to continue. No matter how much trouble and hail life throws at them, Marcus Aurelius called it the duty of a rational being. When you fall, it is not failure. It is a chance to get up in a better style than the last time. Second, perseverance means practicing virtue every day through small and unnoticed actions. One interesting thing about Stoic philosophy is that it does not care much for glamour. They do not think you have to do something grand to prove you are virtuous. Seneca once wrote, "Right action needs no spotlight. You can live nobly in a cramped kitchen, washing dishes at midnight, and it is worth just as much as saving the world if it comes from a place of responsibility and love for life." Perseverance in that sense is maintaining small habits, Journaling every morning, focusing on your work even when no one is watching, not speaking harshly even when you are fuming inside, not because someone will reward you, but because you know that is how a worthy life is lived. Third, perseverance means not surrendering to negative emotions. The Stoics did not deny emotions, they just refused to let emotions steer the ship of life. There is a beautiful image in the writings of Epictetus, he said. Emotions are like dogs pulling a cart. If you do not hold the reins, they will drag you into the bushes. But if you train them, they will take you farther than you thought possible. Perseverance is not about having no fear or sorrow. It is about doing what is right in spite of fear. Some people keep writing in the middle of a crisis. Keep working in a hospital even when they know tomorrow is not guaranteed. Stay kind while carrying pain. That is the kind of perseverance carved deep into the soul of a Stoic. Fourth, perseverance means staying true to your inner mission. You can change careers, move cities, end a relationship. But if you abandon the mission to live according to your conscience, you have abandoned yourself. The Stoics did not live to please anyone. They were not guided by praise or blame. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself in Meditations, "Do not let your soul become enslaved by the desire to be liked. Stay loyal to your true nature, even if the world misunderstands or opposes you." A pine tree does not need people to recognize it as a pine tree. It just needs to keep standing tall and green. Finally, perseverance means loving your fate. The Stoics did not just accept what happens. They learned to embrace it with gratitude. Amor fati, love your destiny. It is not surrender, it is cooperation with the universe, like two friends rowing a boat. The waves may rise, the wind may change, but the Stoic keeps rowing. Not because they believe they will reach a glorious shore, but because rowing the right way is already a victory. 2. What makes perseverance different from stubbornness? At first glance, perseverance and stubbornness look like twin brothers. Both cling to something and refuse to let go. Both can easily make outsiders and even ourselves believe this is a sign of strength. But in reality, a persevering person may walk toward freedom, while a stubborn one might march straight into a wall, wondering why their head is bleeding. The first difference lies in motivation. Perseverance comes from reason, while stubbornness is rooted in emotion and ego. The Stoics always ask, why am I doing this? Am I acting from reason or from unhealed wounds? A person who perseveres keeps going because their actions serve moral values and long-term goals. A stubborn person keeps going simply because they hate the feeling of failure. They fear being seen as a loser. They would rather be wrong than admit they were wrong. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself to act according to nature, not according to random emotions. If you stick to a good habit, even when no one notices, that is reason. If you cling to a toxic relationship just to avoid being labeled as someone who gave up, that is emotion. The second difference is the goal. A persevering person has a clear goal and knows why they keep going. A stubborn person does not really know what they want. They just know they cannot stop. I once met a friend who had spent 4 years on a failing project. When I asked why they did not quit, the answer was because I have gone too far to turn back. It sounds reasonable until you realize you are standing at the edge of a cliff. Epictetus once taught that if the ship is sinking, the wise person jumps out, not out of fear, but out of reason. Perseverance is moving forward because you know you are getting closer to something of value. Stubbornness is moving forward just because you already started and do not want to be seen as someone who gave up. The third difference is inner state. A persevering person feels calm even when results do not go their way. They are free inside because they do not equate their worth with success or failure. A stubborn person grows more agitated the farther they go. They become angry, defensive, irritated by feedback. Their attachment to outcomes blinds them from seeing how far they have drifted from their original ideals. Seneca once said that to someone without a goal, no wind is favorable. But if you are already lost and still rowing furiously, it may be time to put the oar down and look at the compass. The Stoics do not blindly chase after things. They are willing to adjust direction when they realize they have strayed from virtue. The final and perhaps most important difference: perseverance is flexible, while stubbornness is rigid. A persevering person will change their method if the old one no longer works. They do not see adjustment as failure, but as a part of growth. A stubborn person just pushes harder when they are wrong. They cannot distinguish between loyalty to a goal and attachment to a habit. They call it determination, but it is actually fear of losing face. The Stoics knew that letting go of what is wrong is also a form of courage. You do not have to keep a vow once you realize it was built on illusion. Persevering with reason does not mean nailing everything to the wall and hoping the painting turns out fine. Sometimes you have to take it down, adjust the frame, change the lighting, and if needed, start all over again. How to practice the quality of perseverance in daily life. Talking about perseverance sounds simple. Just keep going. But how do you go? Where are you going? And should you keep going at all? That is a different story. The Stoics do not promote blind perseverance. They did not write philosophy for you to read and then throw into real life like a graded test sheet. They wrote so that you could use it, especially on those Monday mornings when you do not want to get out of bed and you are not even sure if you still believe in the path you are walking. The first step is to identify what is truly worth persevering for, because not everything difficult is worth it. Some people persist in a relationship simply because they have been together too long. Some keep climbing a ladder only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. A Stoic would ask, does this serve virtue? Does it make me a better human being? Does it bring something useful to the community? If the answer is no, then maybe now is not the time to persevere, but the time to have the courage to let go. The second step is to train daily through small actions. The Stoics believed that virtue is not built through grand declarations, but through quiet habits, getting up on time, working even when no one is checking, listening to others, even when they ramble, resisting the urge to speak badly behind someone's back, even when the opportunity is golden. These small things may seem unnoticed, but they are the real proof of perseverance. Marcus Aurelius did not write philosophy on a throne. He wrote during weary nights of military campaigns. He did not shout that others must live virtuously. He simply tried to stay decent under the crushing weight of power. Perseverance in that form is not loud, but it builds a life that is steady from the inside. The third step is to learn to reflect regularly. The Stoics did not believe in autopilot. They believed in self-examination like a blacksmith checking a blade. Did I live with reason today? Is what I am doing still right? Am I persevering or just being stubborn in a trap of my own making? If you see that you are on the wrong path, then stopping to correct it is not weakness. It is a sign of freedom. Epictetus once said, "You cannot learn something new if you are not willing to question." The old perseverance is continuing to walk, but also stopping to learn when needed. The fourth step is to embrace change without seeing it as failure. This is something the Stoics emphasized again and again. Life is constantly changing. What was right yesterday may no longer be right today, and what once was a worthy goal can become a burden as circumstances evolve. Seneca once compared perseverance to the skill of a good rower. They know when to stay the course and when to change direction to avoid hidden rocks. They do not see course correction as quitting, but as awareness. If you feel exhausted and do not know why, maybe you are rowing upstream just to prove you have not lost. But what good is that if you no longer have the strength to reach the far shore? The final step is perhaps to find community and wisdom to nourish your inner strength. Perseverance can be a lonely thing, especially when you are walking a path that most people do not understand. Reading books, writing journals, meeting kind people, having honest conversations. These things do not make the path easier, but they make you feel less alone. The Stoics never said you must do everything alone. They simply reminded you that your strength must come from within, but it can be lit up by sparks from others. We live in an age where giving up has never been easier. You can quit your job with a single email, drop out of school with one click, end a relationship just by hitting unfollow. But what is harder is knowing what is truly worth not giving up on. And the hardest of all is to keep walking that path every single day without needing anyone to cheer you on. The Stoics do not ask you to become a superhero. They do not expect you to endure everything like a tearless saint. They simply invite you to practice one simple thing: do the right thing, repeat the right thing, and keep doing the right thing even when no one knows what you are doing. Stoic perseverance is not a performance. It does not need epic music or a spotlight. It is you folding your blanket each morning, learning something new by yourself, resisting the temptation to be lazy, staying silent in the face of insults, holding on to kindness when everything is a mess. Perseverance is not something grand, but it makes you someone trustworthy to others and to yourself. If you have ever wondered whether anyone sees your effort, the answer is yes, you see it. And that is the only person who truly needs to. Epictetus once said, "Happiness is living in accordance with reason." So if you are trying every day to live true to your values, whether or not someone praises you, whether or not anyone recognizes you, whether success is still a far-off shore, you have already lived a life worth living. We do not need to conquer the world. We just need to not lose to ourselves, and to do that, we do not need anything grand, just a little perseverance in the right direction, with the right mindset, day by day, in silence. If this essay touched something in you, if it made you want to keep trying just a little more, then please share it. You never know, someone out there might be needing a gentle reminder that they are not crazy for still holding on in a world that is always in a hurry. See you again in the next videos. We are here together on the journey to conquer ourselves. If this journey into Stoic honesty resonates with you, let us keep the conversation going. Like and share this content to spread the wisdom of Stoicism with others. Subscribe to Stoic Happens for more insights on living a courageous, authentic life. We would love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and share how honesty has shaped your path or what you are reflecting on today. Your perspective could inspire someone else in our community.